What's up, my peeps? Good day to ya. I've been on the ChatGPT bandwidth for quite a while now. I gotta tell ya, I really have loved using ChatGPT. Now today we're gonna dive into something a little bit different, and it's the latest update of ChatGPT 4.0 or 4.0 is what a lot of people will call it. The latest update allows you to generate images right inside the app. Now, they've been able to do some of that with DALL-E and everything else. As a photographer and content creator, I was curious just to see how actually the new version could do. It's all over the internet. In fact, so many people are using it that the servers are crashing. It's having all kinds of issues. Maybe it's just that good. So basically, I was just curious what I could do and what I couldn't do. This tool gives you a ton of creative freedom. It also has some weird quirks about it and frustrating limitations. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the good, the bad, and the strange and show you how I've been using it for my creative process. The new image generator that is built into ChatGPT, you don't have to switch to another AI model. You don't have to go to a different art site. You don't have to do any of that. It's all in the conversation within ChatGPT. So you just have to either type what you want or speak what you want into ChatGPT. It'll create images based off of whatever you tell it to. You can even tweak things with follow-up prompts, just like talking to a creative partner. It's quick, it's clean, and really fun. It's fun to experiment, especially if you're looking to visualize an idea very, very quickly. Now, having said that, there are things that you can't do, which we'll get into later in this video. One of my favorite uses is creating kind of like a mood board. A lot of people set up mood boards. A lot of creatives that I have worked with or worked around have done that. And I just kind of go by the seat of my pants a lot of times. But having ChatGPT as kind of a partner to help you out, you could say, hey, I need to make a mood board in this style, and it'll give you that vibe. You could plan for lighting, style settings. It even gives you a starting point for like location scouting and concept planning. You can create character portraits, logo ideas, product mock-ups, and even photorealistic thumbnails for your YouTube, which I did on this video. It's incredibly helpful. It's a virtual visual storyteller. Now, I've messed around with everything from like album covers, high fashion editorial looks, AI stylized versions of old photos that I've worked with, and just try to see what it can reinterpret from my old work. And because it speaks photographer, you could use actual camera lingo like backlighting, shallow depth of field, 85mm lens, and it gets it. If you say, hey, I need this shot in a bird's eye view using such and such lens, it'll do it. It's a huge plus for creators or photographers before you actually get to your job site to visualize what you want to accomplish. So what's the catch? First off, it struggles with personal likeness, even my own likeness. I found that I could use famous people like Donald Trump or Bob Ross without issue. But when I tried using my likeness and say something like, please use my likeness to create a Mr. Beast style thumbnail, it just would not do it. Not at all. It would start and then it would just get snagged up. Now, it can use your likeness, but it was hung up because of something copyright with Mr. Beast, apparently. It took me a lot of prompts going back and forth trying to understand why it couldn't do it, because the night before, I was doing tons of stuff with my likeness. And I'll throw some of those up here. I did everything from comic books to Renaissance paintings and even photorealistic stuff of me out working. Over and over, even when I tried changing the prompt completely, it seemed to get stuck in a loop. Like once it flagged it, in that prompt, it was never ever going to break out of it. So I would ask it what the problems were, and it would come back and tell me and kind of give me workarounds, but I'd have to start a new prompt. There's also content filter issues, which can be very, very sensitive, overly sensitive. I would put in a perfectly safe PG-13 description, something like fashion model in a swimsuit, soft lighting, beach at sunset, and it would flag it as too racy or inappropriate. And here's another weird one, a weird situation that would come up, what I'm assuming because their servers were getting overloaded with people trying new stuff. Out of nowhere, the image tool would just stop working. You'll get a message saying, hold on, I need a moment, or it'll just refuse to generate. Or it'll say, I need a cooldown for 13 minutes. And then I'd come back to it 13, 15, 20 minutes later, and it still would not work. It just got stuck in some sort of weird loop. It was so frustrating, but I do understand everybody's trying to push the envelope and it's starting to get confused. There's no countdown, no warning, no clear reason why these things come up. You're mid creative flow and it just slams the brakes. It's frustrating. Amazing tool, but definitely temperamental. You'll see people posting that prompts worked one day and then not the next, or that two people used nearly the same prompt. One gets flagged, the other one doesn't. That inconsistency is probably the biggest complaint that I have. Add in the cooldowns, the lack of transparency, and it starts to feel like the AI is having mood swings. But the more you use it, the more you learn to speak its language. You figure out what terms are sensitive and how to steer around them without losing that creative direction. And that's the hardest part for me, is I will just be flowing with something and then it doesn't want to work. Mostly, I've been wanting to get all my thumbnails done for YouTube, trying to streamline that process. And the first day of using it, it worked beautifully. The next day, it didn't really work at all. So learning to roll with the punches is definitely the key here. Creative workarounds. Here are a few tricks that I've picked up that might help. Use a metaphor. Instead of saying tattooed man with fiery wings, try edgy future with ink-inspired designs and glowing abstract energy. You'll get more creative results that way. Now, you're going to have to play with different prompts. Drop names, but keep the traits. So don't say make this in a Mr. Beast style thumbnail. Do something like describing a physical characteristic and say, make it in this exaggerated style. You got to think like a photographer. Add words like studio light, f1.4, cinematic tone, golden hour. It responds super well to technical details. It does not make this like famous person's likeness. Mix those terms. Use digital painting, photorealism, neo-noir, stuff like that to control without triggering the content filters. If you say boudoir or sexy or anything like that, automatically it thinks you're trying to push the envelope. But if you can show an example that is clearly not violating any terms and say mix it with this, you might be able to get something in the direction that you want. So what are my final thoughts? At the end of the day, this tool is really, really impressive, especially for us creators and just photographers. It's a good way to pre-visualize your day. It could speed up your workflow. Whether you're building concepts for a photo shoot, designing thumbnails, or just exploring new ideas, it's a powerful tool. But it's not perfect. Between overactive filters, the refusal to use your likeness, or those random cooldowns, it can definitely slow you down. So think of it less like a replacement for your creativity and more like a creative assignment with an attitude. When it works, it's amazing. When it doesn't, well, you're going to be very frustrated. So that's my breakdown of the ChatGPT image tool. If you've used it, I want to hear your stories. Cool images you made, I want to see them. Weird errors you've hit, let's go. Let's see them. Let's hear them. If you have any cool workarounds, I'd love to know that too. Drop those comments so we can learn together. And if you like this breakdown, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And hit the bell. Hey, why not? If you want more creative content like this, I'm Greg, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later, Gator.